there, it's Ashley from the Loopy Lamb, and today I'm going to show you how to do the paired double crochet stitch. This is a fun variation on the double crochet stitch that uses double crochet decreases and chain stitches to create this kind of fun mesh looking fabric. It's absolutely beautiful and is great for different kinds of spring and summer accessories, and it can be changed dramatically depending on your yarn and your hook size. So today I'm going to be using this Lion brand Vanna's Choice yarn. It's a size 4 worsted weight yarn, and I'm using a 5.5 Furls Odyssey crochet hook. So let's grab our hooks, grab our yarn, and let's get started. So to do the paired double crochet stitch, you're going to need to chain an even number of chains. So for today, I'm going to do a chain 20 for our sample. Okay, so we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 18, 19, 20. So we're going to start in the 4th chain from the hook, and that skipped 3 chains will count as your first double crochet. And we're going to yarn over, insert our hook into that first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. Now normally if I was doing a regular double, I would just yarn over and continue to finish that stitch, but we're doing a double crochet decrease. So what I'll do is I'll yarn over hook and insert into the next chain, yarn over. I'll have 4 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through those first 2 loops again. I'll have 3 loops on my hook, and then I'll yarn over and pull through those remaining 3 loops. And that's your first double crochet decrease, or you'd call it a paired double cluster. So what we'll do here is we're going to yarn over and chain 1, and then we're going to work into the next chain, yarn over through the chain, yarn over, pull through 3 loops, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. Okay, we've got those 2 loops still on our hook, and then we're going to yarn over and work into the next chain. Okay, we're going to yarn over, pull through those first 2 loops again, and then yarn over and pull through the remaining 3 loops on our hook. And that's our next double crochet cluster, or paired double. Then we'll chain 1, and we're going to repeat that across our chain. So again, working into the next stitch, we're going to yarn over, pull through the first 2, working into the next stitch, or chain, sorry, pull through the first 2, and then yarn over and pull through those last 3 chains, or loops. So then we've got our next cluster, and then we'll chain 1. So I'm going to continue along until we're at the end of the row. Okay, so I'm at the end of my row here, and I still have a chain 1 remaining that's left unworked. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that chain 1 because I just finished my last paired double, and then I'm going to double crochet in that last chain of the row. Okay. And that's the end of row 1. So we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to turn our work. Okay, now this is where the fun, repetitious nature of this stitch comes to play, and I really love doing this stitch in front of the TV. So what we're going to do is we're going to work our clusters for this row and every row afterwards into the chain spaces on either side of your paired double cluster there. So what you'll do is you'll yarn over into that first chain space, you'll insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through those first 2 loops. Okay, so you'll have 2 loops left on your hook, and then you're going to yarn over, and we're going to work into that next chain space. So we're going to go into that chain space, yarn over, and pull through the first 2 loops. Then we're going to yarn over and pull through the remaining 3 loops on our hook and complete your cluster. Then we'll chain 1 again. Okay, and so what you're doing is you're putting the first leg of your stitch, and so your first part of the stitch is called a leg, and the second part is, each part is called a leg. So here's your first leg in the first chain space, and the second leg of the stitch is in the second chain space. So then we'll repeat that again, but we're going to work into that same chain space as our last leg of our last stitch. So we're going to yarn over, insert into that same chain space we just worked into, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over into the next chain space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, and yarn over, pull through the remaining 3 loops, and chain 1. Okay, and we're going to do that again across the round. So we're going to yarn over into that same chain space of the second leg of our last stitch, yarn over, and then we're going to work the second leg into the next available chain space. So yarn over into that chain space and finish your cluster. Then we're going to chain 1, and I'll do that again. And now when you get to the end of the row, we're going to have to do something a little different, and I'll show you how to do that. So just keep working across your row. So we're about to work our last cluster, and what we have here is we've got the second to last chain space, our cluster, and then our chain 3. Those are those first 3 skipped stitches from our skipped chains from our foundation chain. So what you're going to do is you're going to work the first leg into that chain space you just worked into, and then you're going to work the second leg of this cluster in between that chain 3 and the cluster stitch. So we're going to yarn over in between the chain. Make sure you don't catch any of the chain in that. You're working between the 2 stitches. Yarn over, pull up, yarn over through the first 2 loops, and then finish your cluster. Then you're going to chain 1, and then you're going to double crochet in the top of that chain 3. And this part is always a little tricky. And there you go. And just double crochet into that last top of that chain 3. So then you're going to chain 3 again, turn your work, and then for every subsequent row, you'll do what we just did for row 2. Okay, so you'll work your first leg into that first chain space, second leg into the next, and every time you're starting a new cluster, your first leg of that stitch starts in the chain space that you just finished working into. Then when you get to the end of the row, that last leg of your last cluster works in between the stitch, the last cluster and the chain 3, and then you double crochet in the top of your turning chain. And that's how you do the paired double. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. And if you enjoy free crochet patterns, please check out my blog, theloopylamb.com. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks so much for watching, friends. Happy hooking, and I'll see you next time.